Hi, my name is Aurora, and I have been a holistic health practitioner for over 20 years, and I'm finding that so many people are becoming aware of the importance of brain health. And particularly many issues seem to be affecting a lot of people that have to do with the brain: ADHD, difficulty concentrating, difficulty sleeping, and whether it's just being able to focus more or feel less fatigue, brain fog during the day. All of it relates to the nervous system, of which the brain is a very important part. So I'm going to give you some tips, not a huge list, but a few things that will really help you in your daily life in terms of helping your brain function more effectively and help you with your life. So just a little bit of background about me. I went to an Ivy League school, but when I found my friends going to Wall Street, many of them, after graduation, I took a very different path because my father had actually worked on Wall Street and was very successful, but he was an alcoholic and quite unhappy. So I learned fairly early on that outer success doesn't necessarily mean internal happiness. So I really set out on a quest to learn about holistic healing and was fortunate enough to find truly world-class teachers and have been studying with them for decades. I've been studying nutrition, alignment-based movement, breathing techniques, meditation, and I'm a certified yoga therapist as well as a certified Purna Yoga instructor at the 4,000 hour level. I've had many more hours than that, but basically my training has been very comprehensive, and I work with people one-on-one to really assess what they need and offer them tools that will be specific to their own situation. And I've learned that healing is never a magic bullet. It's never one pill. It's never one particular type of movement. It's a combination. Things that affect the brain, the emotions, the physical body, our work life, our relationships, all of them are important. But today I'm going to give you a few tips that really specifically help the brain because it's such a big part of our lives. So a few simple things that you can do. First is hydration, and most people aren't aware of how dehydrated they are. We have clean water available to us. I highly recommend filtered water using a carbon filter. A solid carbon block is very, very helpful to make sure that you're getting clean water. Reverse osmosis is another possibility. There are some alkaline water systems out there that are really effective. So different options, but have clean water and have it frequently throughout the day. Easy way to figure out how much water you should be having is to take your weight, divide it by 2, and then consider that the number of ounces of water that you should be having during the day. So for instance, say a person weighs 200 pounds, divided by 2, that's 100. So they should be having 100 ounces a day. And one thing that most people are not aware of is that water with a little bit of something healthy in it. So for instance, freshly squeezed organic lemon juice, a little bit of a squeeze in that water will help it be more deeply hydrating. When it is straight water, it's a little more cleansing, but with something in it, it actually gets absorbed a little more deeply into the body. Another thing you can do is to add organic raw honey, a little tiny bit with that lemon. That just makes it a little sweeter, but do make sure that it's organic and raw because most honey is heated, which actually makes it toxic. So it should be raw honey. It should be solid when it's at room temperature. So hydrating is super important because even a small reduction in hydration means a very substantial reduction in brain function. So if you feel brain fog or a little confused, it could very well be that you're dehydrated. That's number 1. Number 2 is to increase the healthy fats that you're consuming and reduce the unhealthy fats. Most people still have some remnants of thinking that fats aren't good. Some fats are very poor in terms of how they affect health. Some are extraordinarily wonderful. So healthy fats are important for helping us absorb certain vitamins and minerals. They are important for building cell membranes, important for building the sheath around the nerves, And the brain is so much fat. It's comprised of so much fat that it is incredibly important to have healthy fats in our lives, because that actually keeps the brain functioning. In fact, there are some studies that show people who have had significant amounts of raw organic coconut oil and have actually regenerated their brains, which previously was thought not to be possible by science. So that's one really wonderful fat, organic, raw coconut oil. And you can have it alone. You can just have it as a teaspoon, or you can put it on whatever you like. But that's a wonderful healthy fat. Avocados are wonderful healthy fat. Of course, organic olive oil, first cold pressed organic olive oil, organic sunflower oil. I don't recommend canola oil. You can research it, but it really has industrial origins, and generally it's not recommended among most holistic health practitioners for health. Another thing to avoid is hydrogenated fats that you may find in foods, partially hydrogenated fats. Stay away from those when you see those on labels. In general, avoid processed foods because they typically have unhealthy ingredients in general, and any toxicity, of course, affects the brain's functionality. So avoiding packaged foods when possible, or trying to focus on minimally processed foods, which I know is tough in our society. Everyone is busy. I have some solutions for that, but that's a longer conversation than I can go into in this video. But I am happy to do complimentary consultations, initial consultations, and can share some of that information. So a couple of other things to focus on for brain health. This is going to be the comedic relief from the video. I'm going to show you some exercises that most people don't know, and you may laugh, and that's okay. You can watch me and see how amusing it is, but I want you to do it with me because that's the only way you're going to get benefit. So there are an enormous number of nerves that actually pass through the jaw. And so when the jaw is tense, our communication between the brain and the rest of the body is actually impeded. Jaw tension can contribute to headaches, just as neck tension does. So to release the jaw is a really, really wonderful thing. And most of us do not learn jaw exercises in PE when we're growing up. I learned these from a world-class yoga instructor, and I'm very grateful. They're hilarious to watch, but very, very effective. So it's 3 pairs of circles that I want you to think about, and the order doesn't really matter, but you just think of 3 pairs of circles. So the first one that I want you to think about is a record player. So a record player, of course, is parallel with the floor and moves around clockwise, and you could also move it counterclockwise if you wanted to. So what you're going to do is drop your lower teeth just a little bit down from your upper teeth and move your jaw, move that lower jaw in a circle 9 times in one direction. So I'll give you a little demonstration. Okay, hilarious? Yes. Effective? Definitely. Now we have to go the other direction 9 times. Okay, you know, I'm really committed to helping people with their health if I'm willing to look silly in a video just so that I can help and give you some extra support. So you can do this, of course, anywhere. Okay, so let's see. That's one pair. And then another pair is if you think of the tires on a car, how they roll. They go forwards and they go backwards. So we're going to do that same thing with the jaw. It looks like this. Okay, so that's the forwards, and then let's go backwards. All right, so those are 2 pairs. Then I want you to think of a steering wheel in a car. So the steering wheel can go to in one direction and in the other. So we'll do 9 in one direction and then 9 in the other direction. So like this. Nine the other direction. All right, so you can do those if you're at a stoplight, while driving, while you're cleaning something in your house. If you're in school, you can do it as a break during your homework, and you'll feel, oh my gosh, I feel a little bit more refreshed in my head if you really pay attention. And you may hear clicks and pops and things when you first do them, but as you get more practice, then there won't be as many. But it's very, very refreshing and relieving for jaw tension. So I have lots of other techniques, but I can only do so much in the video. One other suggestion I want to give is an interesting formula from Ayurveda, which is India's science of healthy living, and that is called Bacopa, B-A-C-O-P-A, Bacopa. It's a really wonderful formula for brain health. You just have to make sure that you get it from a very clean source, because honestly, not everything that comes out of India is as clean as it should be. So make sure to get it from a clean source. I have other things that I can recommend, but really I like to work with individuals one-on-one, because someone may need to focus more on detoxifying their body. Someone may need to focus more on nourishment. There are different ways to balance the organic systems. I've had training in the Indian system and in the Chinese system. These are 2 ancient cultures that have an enormous amount of refinement and awareness of how plants and herbs and foods affect the body. So I'll give you my email address. You're more than welcome to contact me, and I'm, as I said, happy to offer an initial consultation at no charge. It's aurora.luminaria@gmail.com. So that's AURORA .luminaria, LUMINARIA @gmail.com. And I'm so grateful that you joined me for this video. Hope you got some helpful tips and hope to connect with you soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye.